Uzi man takes a swing at him. Aquaman seizes his wrist and hoists him across his back. He runs, letting the man's body smash against a doorway. Arthur grabs the electrified line and whips Black Manta toward him, punching him to the ground. Manta draws his grandfather's knife as Arthur yanks the harpoon out of his back. Arthur yanks a ball and chain parking barrier from the ground and swings it around, gaining momentum. The screen inside Manta's helmet reads, "System failure." The woman finds a dressing wrapped around her wound, a little blood leaking through.
My weapon! Here!
Tom tosses Atlanta her trident, and she uses it to knock one soldier off his feet. She stabs an attacker, then flips over the couch, running her weapon through a soldier and lifting him into the air. Aquaman kicks the hatch door into his hand and uses it like a shield. He bashes them with it, then swings again, wedging the door in a wall just over the pirate's head. And Manta falls against the corner of a building's roof. He goes over a cliff, tumbling down the jagged rock face like a rag doll before disappearing into the surf. Black Manta's roundhouse kick sends Arthur crashing through a window and onto a rooftop. He rolls off, but catches the edge and dangles by one hand.
In a lab, a small insect is on a workbench. Its antennae wave about. Elsewhere are several rows of surveillance screens. Scott is caught on the screens. He leaves the house with the suit he found.
A group of tough-looking guys comes up behind them. One of them slaps Arthur on the back, causing him to spill beer into his beard.
Hey, buddy. You that fish boy from the TV?
Oh, great.
It's a trial by fire, Scott. Or in this case, water.
Luis doesn't notice ant-sized Scott. He turns on a tap and water pours down. Scott runs away from the torrent and gets washed along. Scott sinks to his knees and a cop cuffs his hands behind his back. Scott sits in a jail cell. Maggie's partner Paxton visits him.
You know, you almost had us convinced that you were going to change your ways.
There are now several ants on the floor of the cell. They arrange themselves into numbers, 10, 9, 8. Scott quickly puts the suit on.
Merc pulls off his helmet and plunges his whole head into the toilet, taking a deep breath.
He carefully steps between the crawling ants and makes his way out of the room.
Right, just one step at a time.
He grimaces. Scott turns to look at Pym, who lifts his glasses and rests his head in his hands. Hope turns a corner in the corridor and stops to take a deep breath. In the gym, Hope throws punches at Scott, who blocks and fights back. She grabs him, then throws him down and pins him to the floor. Studying schematics, fighting Hope, Scott lands a blow.
Oh, you okay? Did I hurt?
She smacks him in the face, then leaps on his shoulders and pins him down between her thighs. Inside, dressed as a guard, Luis turns around in a body scanner.
Step out.
He's handed back his gun.
All clear.
He's given a pass, which he clips to his shirt.
He fires a grenade at Aquaman, who moves out of the way. The grenade blows a hole in the sub, and water pouring in dislodges a torpedo, which pins the bald pirate to the wall.
The bus driver presses the brake repeatedly, but the vehicle speeds on. It catches air as it crests a steep hill, then careens down the center of the road. He races toward the front and almost slides off, but catches himself on the side mirror and lurches against the door.
Open the door, please!
She pulls the lever and he swings inside.
The back is about to go.
Swimming around the hood, he shines a light on Harley lying sprawled halfway through the windshield. He grabs her by the hair and lifts her head. Coming alive, she slashes at him with a knife, and he punches her out.
Scott looks down as a line of ants arrives on the tabletop. He looks at Hope, who focuses on the table. The ants form a tower, passing sugar cubes upwards and dropping them into the tea. More ants swarm the lampshade above, then cover the light bulb, darkening the room.
He shoots down the firing range. Each bullet lands dead center in the head of a flat, man-shaped target. Deadshot drops the spent magazine from his gun and swiftly reloads.
Sean glances at the stop request cord, then extends the fingers of his pinned hand toward it. Katie's jaw drops as she sees the stop requested sign light up. She turns the wheel left, then spins it hard to the right.
Outside on the roof, a guard strides towards a landing helicopter. He slides the passenger door open, and two men in suits disembark. One holds a briefcase. A third man, grey-haired and craggy-faced Mitchell Carson, gets out and stands between them, buttoning up his suit jacket.
The assassin stares. As he swings his sword, she ducks, holding onto a shaft of bamboo. He cuts the lashing around it and pushes her. The shaft leans away from the scaffolding, with Katie clinging to it. It bombs, almost horizontal above the street.
Darren's got a gun to Scott's head. Hope fingers her earpiece. Bullet ants swarm Darren's handgun, preventing the hammer from moving. Darren scowls, then spots the ants all over him. Pim's head lolls.
Now, Shang Chi approaches a gap in a ring of tall bamboo and finds Nan at the center, practicing a graceful form. She notices him.
My mother was the only one who could beat him. Show me how she did it.
Nan lowers into a fighting stance, her hands open. Shang Chi draws his right fist back and assumes his own fighting stance.
Their vintage car emerges from under a bridge. Mia peers out her window. Yawning, she covers her mouth with the back of her hand. Brian glances at her. She caresses the back of his head, then down his shoulder. Heading up an incline, their black car disappears behind a dilapidated wall. Giselle stands and readies her gun. Ivory speeds past, shooting at the office. Coming out, Giselle aims keenly, then fires. Ivory falls from the motorcycle and lands in a sprawl. Giselle lowers her gun and takes a deep breath. Now Dom kicks in a barred gate door, then holds it open for Brian and Mia. As the couple heads down an alleyway, Dom sweeps his cautious gaze over their surroundings. Later, Brian stands in the doorway of a rundown apartment and gazes at Mia, who lies asleep in a chair. Later, Riley scales a high wall. Hobbs follows as she hops down into the depot. Opening a door, the pair enter cautiously with their weapons drawn. They methodically head farther into the darkened building. They discover a completely empty space cleared of Shaw's men and equipment. Riley lowers her gun. Dom's Charger pulls between two muscle cars. As two women slink past, the hems of their short dresses revealing the curves of their butt cheeks, Brian grins. He turns to Dom, who meets his gaze.
Home sweet home.
The armored vehicle rams Dom's car. Ramsey struggles to stay on the hood. Dom looks over to find Deckard smirking at him behind the wheel. He rams into Dom again.
License and registration, please.
He forces a police SUV into a parked van. A second SUV careens into the first, which slides on its roof.
Yes! This is big boy stuff. We clear on the right.
Roman and Han safely tailed the guys. An aerial view follows the vault and its four protectors.
Thanks, guys.
Anytime.
He flips a switch and a large heavy-duty panel rises from the top of his deeply slanted hood. He swerves sharply into an oncoming cruiser, which launches off his ramp-like hood. It corkscrews over Dom's car and lands in a roll. Hobbs clips it as he passes. With a faint smirk, Shaw launches another police car. Dom swerves to avoid it. Brian swings from the frame and grabs hold of the open door. Climbing the front of the bus, Brian loses his footing and hangs from the grill. Rocks crumble beneath the vehicle. As it teeters further, Brian quickly climbs the front end. He sprints up the side of the bus as it slowly falls from the edge. As Elena and Hobbs lay down cover fire, Brian feeds out a winch line from his Charger. The two partners attach the cables to the sealed vault. Back in the station's administrative wing, Reyes notices Alameda's men clambering. What's happening? They're taking the vault. What? The vault. From the back of the plane, an explosion erupts. It sets off a domino effect of fiery blasts, consuming the entire aircraft. From its nose, a Dodge Charger bursts out of the fire. Letty beams radiantly. The car loses control and flips into a roll. At the wheel, Dom braces himself against the interior. The skidding plane continues past the wrecked car, following the three remaining vehicles.